So we are so privileged to have our elder, Hopi elder, Leon, coming up and going to share some responses and then also talk to us about healing with traditional foods and medicine. And so I've been really lucky to be able to spend some time over the past couple of years getting to know Leon and his incredible family. And he is a retired health director administrator for the Hopi tribe and has participated at both the state and the national level and internationally on health-related boards. He is actively involved in the Hopi religious ceremonies and has a passion to educate the children and the youth in these cultural traditions. And in the time I've been able to spend with his family, I see those traditions in his daughters, in his granddaughter, in his wife, and I am so blessed and fortunate to know Leon. So thank you.
Limit Alumni, Obi Itamu Chami Maka, Itamu Wunitoinak, Itamip Ita Timoy, Ita Sin Mamangam Lolma Piu Pasionayan, Put Pumao Yankia Kyang, Yepkachi Tua Navakia Wantione. Good morning. This is a beautiful day for us to enjoy, to share our knowledge with each other, to connect and to make new friends. Also to use the knowledge that we learned today to benefit our people. That's what I said in the Hopi language. So I don't know how I fit into this panel discussion. My name is Sakhong Vaya. That's my Hopi name. And in the Hopi tradition, when you become a society member in a religious organization, you acquire a father. In the white man's way, they say a godfather, but you acquire a father when you become a member of a religious society. And there are two of them that I belong to. And the name that was given to me, Sakhong Vaya, fits those two ceremonies. One that named me from one of the ceremonies was from the tobacco clan. The other one was from the Kachina clan. So my name reflects their clan in my name. And the first one is the name translate into green tobacco plant, spruce tree growing in a row. The spruce tree is connected to the Kachina clan. So that's what my name means, Sakhong Vaya. I'm from the Pi Keshunga clan. Pi Keshunga clan means young corn clan. And I'm from the village of Munkapi, which is on the western side of the Hopi reservation near Tuba City. And Munkapi means flowing water stream. That's the name of that village. And my father is from the Bamboo clan. So that's my connections that I have. I was just saying a while ago that I don't know how I connect with the panel discussion here, but one of the things that happened to me last night or when I arrived here yesterday was to take a look at my notes, because I'm talking about how I grew up and how I was healed with traditional food. And I had this call or email from Mindy, Professor, and she asked me, would you be willing to talk about anything related to healing with traditional food if you had an illness? And I hesitated, but I agreed. I said, I'll do that. So what I did was I got on my computer and I started to write what I remembered when I was ill and how I got well in the traditional way. And so I wrote that, and when I arrived here yesterday in the evening, I looked for my notes. It wasn't there. I left it at home. So I had to write some notes to myself here. And there is a Hopi, there's a hospital at Tuba City, but I didn't go to the hospital when I got ill. My parents left me with my grandparents at Munkapi. And my grandparent and my uncles and the medicine man all joined in to get me well. And the tie-in, the part that I remember, was that there was food involved. There was medicine, Hopi medicine, natural medicine that was involved. But also there was prayer as a part of healing that I went through that I remember. And I can't remember how old I was. And I tried to think back. I called my sister, my older sister, and I asked her what happened to me and what were the medicines that they used to heal me. And she couldn't remember either. So that's a long ways back. I'll be 80 years old in November. I was watching TV 2 days before we came here, Dr. Oz show. You know who was on there? Senator Sanders. He made a comment. Well, there was a question raised to him. How come you're so healthy at your age? You know what he said? I didn't realize that he was a marathon runner. So he kept himself healthy. And he had to watch what he was eating. So that meant that he was eating healthy and keeping strong. I ran 4 marathons. And it was something that challenged that I took on. I think that's what the individuals here that are talking, they take that challenge on and they pursue that, and that's what I'm hearing today. The medicines that I remember that were being used, one was hungapi. Hungapi is, the English word for that is bear root. That root, that plant that grows in a forest, and you go out and you harvest it and use that, that's medicine. And we call that hungapi. And what they used to do is they used to give me a chunk of it to bite off and chew it. Then I would swallow the juice from that hungapi. Then I would put it on my hands and I would put it all over my body. The other one that I remember is called Cedar. The cedar trees that grow out on the reservation. I can't think of the Hopi name right now, but they used to boil that cedar. And then what they used to do was to bathe me with it every morning. My grandmother used to bathe me from head to foot, my foot. And then she also would give me a cup of that cedar juice to drink every day. And then also every so many days, she would burn the cedar, and I would stand over it, and that's what they call smudging. I think it's what they call it, smudging. I would stand over with a blanket and allow that smoke to purify me. And that was done every so often. The other thing that my food that they were feeding me, my grandmother was feeding me, was blue cornmeal. And the blue cornmeal was made into a mush. They called that wataka. Wataka. And that wataka is real good for if you have an upset stomach. Instead of popping a pill, you just mix it with some water and you drink it, mix it and drink it. That takes care of your problem that you have. The other food that she fed me was what we call blue marbles. They call that bevilpiki. blue little marbles that made out of blue cornmeal. That's what they used to feed. She used to feed me. The other one was what they called hurusuki. Hurusuki is like blue cornmeal, and it's kind of like a pudding. And that's what I remember eating. My grandmother used to put the pot over the oven, and where they lift off the top, she used to put the bowl in there, metal bowl, and then she would stir it. That's hurusuki. The other food that I also ate is piki. Piki is made out of blue cornmeal, kind of in a liquid consistency, and then it's baked over a hot stone. And then I don't know if we've seen anything here, pictures like that, but that was another thing that she was feeding me. But also spring water was very important. We called that kuyi. I drank the spring water that was there at the spring at Munkapi. The other food that I also ate that was prepared for me was wild food. And this is tea that grows out there in season, spinach. And so these foods were the ones that were fed to me when I was very sick. The other part that I remember was that the prayers were made every morning for me. And I also joined them when they're saying the prayers. Prayers in the morning, prayers in the evening. Of course, the medicine man, the Hopi medicine man, was the one that prescribed the medicine for me. And they go through a healing type of a session, the medicine man. But he was the one that prescribed the medicine for me. And then every now and then he would check on me at the house, at my grandmother's house. And he would see how I was doing. So if there was any adjustments to be made in the medicine, he would do that. One of the other things that he also did was to go through what they call not a sweat lodge, but sweating. They would heat the river stones that are smooth, large ones. They would heat it. My grandma would heat it, and then they would pour the cedar juice over it, and it would steam, and I would stand over it like this, and it would steam my body. So those kinds of things were happening to me when I was sick. The other thing I remember was that I slept on a bed of sheepskin. And I guess I was so sick that I was leaning against the wall in that one area. And all of my food, of course, was eaten on the floor. That's the tradition, Hopi tradition, is that you eat on the floor. So I sat in that back part of that house. I guess I was so sick and in pain that sometimes I just couldn't remember what was happening. The dream that I have, and this is something that I don't talk about, and I don't think I've even shared this with that many people, is that the dream I had was when I was delirious, I guess, and I was asleep. My dream was that I was going down a road, a paved road, like a blacktop. I was going down the road. It would be level. And as the pain began to increase, I would be going up the hill. When it subsided, then I would be coming back down again. I remember that. And I keep recalling that that's the pain that I was feeling when I was sick. My father told me, of course my uncles too, is that food is medicine. Food is medicine for your body to keep you strong. And I think that's where the disconnect is happening today. We don't realize that food is nutritious for your body. And I mean native food, not the one that you buy at the grocery store. Our food system right now is not what it should be. And our native foods are still there. We're still able to go out and harvest in the forest if you have a forest. But out on Hopi, we have various areas where different plants grow, and we'll still eat that. Not everybody does it, of course, because we've been bombarded with going to McDonald's for a hamburger. But one thing that I smiled about was that when Senator Sanders said that he was a marathon runner and he kept himself strong. So I think I also did that too. So thank you for listening. I appreciate it.